Today is April 2nd. The Yankees have still not lost, and Aaron Boone joins us to discuss their path to victory and being the best ever. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old Jon Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old Jon Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old Jon Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. His name is Jake. We got BBD behind the desk. And today's episode is brought to you by SeatGeek, but also Tall Order. So, we got under 5'10" for all the short folks like us. Aaron Judge, he's like, I'm tall. I need tall clothes. Tall Order makes socks that Aaron Judge wears. In 2022, Aaron Judge tried out his first pair of Tall Order socks, and they're the only socks he's worn since. They're not saying the socks are the reason he hit 62 home runs, but they're not saying that either. So, if you got a big old foot, actually, they fit my feet just fine too. So, but if you got a big old foot, visit tallorder.com today. Try out Aaron's top drawer collection, socks, shirts, and underwear that make you as confident as he is when he's at the plate. Also, check out Tall Order's other stylish and super comfortable dress and performance basics. Use Jon Boy at checkout for 15% off your next order. That's tallorder.com. Fit to stand tall. You and I can do like Little Rascals bank scene. Put ourselves in some tall socks. Anyway, Jake, we just chatted with Boone, and the Yankees are winning.
James Davis, Tall Order. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Yeah, man, I mean, doesn't get much better than 5-0. Undefeated March, undefeated April so far, so that's good. I'd like to keep that going June, July, August, September, October.
I don't see any reason to lose.
Preferably October. So, yeah, man, obviously Yankee fans are, I don't know, man, we're still in this crazy state. You had last night's game marked as a W after the second inning, and it was.
Yeah.
Never a doubt. And we've kind of been in the same mode since they came back that opening day game where, we were doing our opening day live stream, and Zoe and Jolly were genuinely starting to get frustrated with us for how excited we were for the New York Yankees, and that's continued.
I will say, in this conversation we just had with Boone, I think I need to figure out how to navigate the interview when times are going well, because I was just gushing a little bit and just being like, things are good.
Twice I got.
Yeah, twice were just complimenting.
I just was like, dude, the at-bats are good.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're the Yankees.
Yeah, but we did have a good conversation. He's playing it coy, he's not going to get too excited about himself, but or admit to any changes. But after the interview, I have some more info for you about how different things are that he's lying about.
Yeah, right before we started recording, I hit him with the Booney, not bad, and he was like, it's 5 games, and it's like, all right.
He's also a little sick. More on that.
Not Coach Hurley. A lot more on that. As well.
Anything about sometimes this game 1 from this series gets a little talked about. Sure. In the midweek episode, anything, Heel makes his start. There's certain stuff we'll say for the recap, but Volpe's going nuts.
Yeah, there's a Volpe segment into the interview. I mean, 4 for 4, and just how different the whole thing feels with him and how control at the plate he is. And Hill, man, I mean, he popped off the screen. It's one of those.
He's nasty. It's electric arm.
The fastball itself is enough of a pitch to get through a lineup once.
Yeah.
So the slider looked fine, and then people are talking about the changeup too. So it was cool to see Heel operate, and then Luke Weaverhive is growing by the day.
I think this is a different Luke Weaver than we even had last year. He's throwing with intent. That's the biggest thing, is everything seems to be done with such intent right now. Even the takes are aggressive takes, the Soto style, and running the bases is they have intent. They didn't last year.
Giancarlo's just the tag up king now.
Yeah.
How many times has Giancarlo tagged up this year? 4, 3?
Good amount. Maybe 2 or 3.
It might be as many as last year. We'll get
Tagging up third on that not particularly deep fly ball.
Right.
In front of the warning track.
Wonder if I can find
a
that.
little shocked.
It's in our boondock.
How many times he's done it this year?
Not how many times, but at least that specific play. I put a link to a video.
And then, yeah, I guess the only other thing before the Boone interview, they don't use their quote-unquote A pen last night, so you're set up well for the next 2 games of the series. So, pretty exciting. I mean, dude, if they come into opening day at the stadium
Undefeated?
8-0,
I don't know if that's going to
7-0.
happen. I don't know if that's going to happen. But let's enjoy it.
if they do, that place is gonna be just as loony as I was gonna say as loony as the DD postseason homer game, but
that's not
as loony.
That's not.
That's just
that
not
was,
as loony.
That was honestly insane.
That was just loony.
That was crazy.
I'm excited to see it because hope is a dangerous thing, and there's a lot of hope.
I am trying to check out the stand stats for you. He tagged up once from second. Matthew Liberatore was on the bump.
Last year, this year.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say that.
So Baseball
It's been auto
Savant,
2023.
yeah, Baseball Savant hasn't changed their auto years yet.
Sure. Oh, we're not into 24 yet for the stat people.
So he only did it once last year.
Giancarlo Stanton only tagged up once last year.
From second base, only once.
Second to
last
Tag
third?
from second to third.
Okay, hey, I'll take that.
He's matched
man.
it already.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But they don't have it. His doing it this year, but he did do it this year.
He did it last night. Maybe it's not updated yet.
He did it game 1 or game 4. Verdugo got him from second to third.
Yeah.
There's a video of it on the Boondock.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not have the results yet.
Okay.
But it does have results for last year, and it says that like a sac fly was hit while he was on second base once, and then when he was
That's
on
a
third
set.
base.
So that's somebody also scoring from third because second to third isn't a sac fly. That's just he advanced.
Which is a little bullshit. One time on
Full
third.
agree.
What?
Full agree that they're not tracking that as, or not counting that as a sac fly when it's the same thing.
Yeah. If there's 0 outs, that should count. He did it from third once. Mike Bauman on the bump. Hater sac fly. Let's see how he looked. Can you throw my screen up just real quick? Let's see, like, oh, you got it right. Oh, Jimmy. Let's see if he looked at, that's way deep. He just jogged.
It's on the warning track.
It's on the warning track.
And we didn't need to. Okay. All right.
Get that out of here.
All right. Should we get there?
Boone, Boone. Gong.
Bing. All right, we got Booney for the first bantering with Boone in the middle of the season. You come to us 5-0, undefeated, Boone. I said, let's get some wins. I think that was the last thing we said to each other, and you haven't gotten any losses yet. Pretty exciting. Are you excited?
I'm pleased with how we're playing, certainly. It's been a lot of fun, watching this team's focus and competitiveness and, really seeing this team kind of come together as a group in spring training. So there's a closeness with them and they're playing together. The good thing, anytime you start out like this, where you've put 5 on the board, is everyone's contributed. And that's been nice. The bullpen's done their part. The starters have done enough. The offense, I really don't even feel like we're overly clicking on offense yet, but you see, this is what we envision is those kind of at bats, man, that these guys are putting on the team night in and night out. Cause you're going to have your days where you have success. You're going to have your days where a pitcher has your number, where he's on. But if we can make it tough on them night after night, we give ourselves a great chance. And that's what the guys have been doing so well. We've made some key defensive plays. So a little bit of everything that has allowed us to win these games so far.
From the fans' point of view, after 5 games, just taking it in, and we're giddy. You know, we're going to be, I know players and coaches, you have to act the same way if you win and you lose and be balanced and neutral because it's a long season. But as fans, we live on the fringes of emotions. And I've just been smiling every night. Fans are excited and also have a little bit of like feeling that we're treating it different, that like the lineups decisions are a little different this year than before, that some bullpen decisions are different. I feel like you're going to contest that, but I want to ask, do you think their mentality from your point of view and the coaching standpoint has changed?
Not really. I mean, look, you're always trying to evolve and get a little bit better. And, as Cash puts, we're always trying to find higher ground. And so you go with that. But yeah, I don't think much has changed as far as, lineup, how I construct the lineup or, when I'm pulling a pitcher or whatever, like this time of year, we're trying to get starting pitchers built up and trying to put the best team on the field to try and help us win a game, all while keeping in mind, the big picture as well.
I think one of the things that I know piqued both of our interest was you guys said, Jon Berti joins the crew, which, hey, I last time we talked, I think all of us were alluding to it might be nice to have a right-handed speedy infielder that we could use. So, hey, congrats there. But, you came out and I think you guys were like, hey, Berti's going to start the next day. But Oswaldo goes off and then he doesn't, which I don't know. In our world, that seems like a normal transaction, but in previous years, it feels like it wouldn't have operated the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree with that. What I said was before the Friday game, it was before the Friday game that I said, yeah, I'll likely get Berti in there tomorrow. And then, obviously Oswaldo was kind of off to the start he was off to and kept himself in there. So I've heard that. I've been hearing lately that I don't believe in hot, which is not true. Guys get hot all the time and you got to ride those sometimes. Like the matchups always matter, of course. But a guy getting it rolling plays a part in that as well. The thing about Jon is, like, I am so excited to have him. We are so excited to have him, and I know he's going to play a huge role on this team for us. We got ourselves a really good player, and he's one of those guys that, on the game he played, obviously made maybe the key defensive play of the game there to preserve a victory. So he's going to play a huge role for us. Just right now, though, Oswaldo's kind of, not allowing me to take him out right now.
Yeah, okay. I love it. Even with Stroman's first start going 100 pitches, I think our very first time having you on before the season last year, we talked about April and how in the past you've, kind of built in some rest days or had starters not empty the tank early on. And I think your quote, you said to us, like, yeah, I do treat April a little different because we have older staff, older players, and we want to ease them in. That's where it feels like it didn't happen the first week of the year like it has in the past, which I'm excited about.
It's all where they're built to, though. Like
okay.
Marcus Stroman was built to be in line for up to 100 pitches that day. Clark in his first was in the 80s. Luis Hill yesterday was in the 80s. So it's more, I'm not bucking any trend here. Like it's where these guys were able to get built up to by the end of spring training. Some were, a few pitches ahead. Some were a few pitches behind. So that's all that was. And Marcus was obviously pretty dazzling in his first one.
Now, Boone, me and James this offseason, we got a ton of views. We recreated how the Ohtani signing went down. And we'd like to do some light acting for you right now of every Yankee fans group chat. And 3, 2, 1. Volpe. Ooh. Volpe. And scene. Your thoughts?
It's exciting how Anthony looks. I've said it a few times here. Like, I mean, he's a significantly better hitter to me than he was, at this point last year, or certainly even at the end of the season. He did a lot of really great things as a rookie, winning the Gold Glove, hitting the home run, stealing bases, having stretches where he played really well. But I think he understood that you also got to make some real adjustments, to be able to, continue to, move the needle and get better offensively. Well, he has made some serious adjustments, and I don't know that he's not had a good at bat yet. Results can be fleeting day to day as a hitter, but his at bats over and over and over again have been excellent. You can clearly see as we've seen all spring, the swing adjustments that's, to me, plugged up some holes that teams exposed against him last year. And, it's exciting to see him playing at this level out of the gates.
He gets scratched on Sunday with an upset stomach and then comes out Monday and goes 4 for 4. Do you think there's any correlation between the two? Feeling lighter at the plate?
Oh man, that's pretty impressive because he had a rough day. Handful of us have gone through a little bit of a illness this week, and Anthony got it pretty bad there for about 36 hours. So to be able to kind of get through that and go out and throw up the at-bats he did last night and move around the bases like he did was pretty impressive.
And when you say us, I know you're normally talking about the team. We did hear some whispers that you had some tummy issues going. Do you want to address that at all or no?
Yeah, I don't know if it's getting back from Mexico, and I've had about 4 or 5, 6 going on a week now of not the best, but not the worst either. Like I felt well enough, so it's just been.
Boone had to leave. We'll see what he was doing in the meantime.
Why don't you get yourself a pair of Tommy Johns? Boone might need a new pair. I wear Tommy John every day. Tommy John has their second skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day. Amen. And the luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. This isn't on the sheet at all. I've gone full Tommy John. I wear Tommy John every day. At the end of this read, I will essentially flash my boxers at you. I made a decision. I had 1 pair of Tommy John, and I planned my week around them, and I said, you know what, Jake? You're an adult. If you like these, go do it. I did. Best decision of my life? I don't know. I should probably make a big board on that. But Tommy John underwear, give it a shot. 20 million pairs sold and thousands of 5-star reviews. And right now, you can get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/Yanks. 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/Yanks. Click the link in the description. And Boonie's back right now.
Sorry about that. All good.
Good.
I wanted to. You talked about working good at bats. Right now, I think you guys have 6 guys in above average in pitches per plate appearance, and both catchers are up there. Wellesley was really high. Trevino's high, and they're less at bats, but they're working great at bats. Oswaldo, obviously, putting in the work, and you can see it when a pitcher like Javier does have your number. You kind of said this at the top of the show. You're getting him out before he can really kill you. And it's just such a refreshing and fun watch.
Yeah. I mean, that's what these guys and J-Ro has kind of done a great job of setting such a great tone with our hitting culture, just as far as having that mindset. And the guys are really taking so much pride in that. And to steal that, to use the cliche, I think they really are feeding off one another in like taking so much pride in making sure I go up there, and if nothing else, I'm going to give a really tough at bat. And it doesn't mean not being aggressive. It doesn't mean I'm not going to go, let's get after the first pitch. It just means I am nose in there. Let's go. This is a battle. This is a fight. And it's been fun to watch those guys compete in that way. And again, like hitting, it's, you're not getting results every day, but if we can have these kind of at bats in the mindset, we are going to wear teams down, and that's how we got to be.
It's been refreshing, man. Again, I know we normally lead a lot of our stuff with the fan point of view, but it's been incredible to watch every at bat be so competitive. Where at the end of last season, it felt like if the other team put up a 2 spot, that it was just like, man, this is gonna be we're really gonna have to grind this out today. Everyone seems so locked in. So that was just me fanboying a little bit, to be honest. Waldo. I mean, we got to give our guy his flowers. I mean, the dude, the mayor himself, he goes nuts in Houston. It's incredible to watch. Those 2 inside pitches that he gets his hands on are awesome. And then I don't know. We see him. Joe Mantiply comes out, and we see him from the right side. Again, I don't know. I think we still want more on that. Like Mantiply is a sinker baller. Is there something with his righty swing that lines up well with that, or what goes into that? I still don't know.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's essentially J-Ro and the hitting staff kind of looking at it pre-series and kind of getting with me and what we're thinking. And J-Ro came to me and said, Nelson, we're going to stay left on left with, and Mantiply we're going to go righty against. And so we're on board with that, on the same page with that, and Waldo is as well. And that's where it's kind of as simple as that. I mean, I think you can typically link it to, you kind of know who the left on left specialists are and who the more neutral guys are down there in the pen. Mantiply is a guy with a, pretty large split. So that's a guy he's going to go take his righty at bat.
Okay. Well, what about when they come to you and say, Hader, we're going to go lefty? Like, that seems, like a crazy one, because he's nasty to both sides, but he has better career to lefties than righties. Again, I'm not upset about it. Barely. I'm just interested.
Yeah, barely, though. He's very neutral, actually.
Okay.
Hader's is about as tough a bat as you're going to have, period. But Hader's pretty neutral. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, we'll go case by case. And something we do before the series every time.
Can on bullpen decision?
So you guys can look into each series and go, all right, I wonder which way Oswaldo's going to hit against the guys in this pen this week.
Yeah, we'll debunk it. If at one point he switches mid-season, you're going to really throw me off. But I'll be looking into it. On the bullpen front, one. Yep. The other birdie, we got 2 birds now. He's looked absolutely electric. But my main question it goes back to opening day. You used Loizaga out of the pen first in a close game. Last year, we would talk to you a lot about, sometimes you would save the best guy. And I don't know where the standing is between Loizaga and Hamilton on the path to Clay. But you used him right away. And then when the lefties came up, he stayed in there. And that, again, felt like something that last year it seemed like maybe Wandy comes in or a lefty comes in. And I want to know if that is kind of an opening day situation, not knowing the lefties for those guys, or what went into just giving Lois 2 innings and letting him face everyone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you walk into opening day with a full bullpen, full arsenal. So in any kind of winning situation, you know how you want to kind of get it to Clay. The lefties for Houston are pretty unique in that they're pretty darn tough against lefties. So it's, not that you're not going to shoot your best lefties against them in certain situations. You got to take that shot, but they're not your typical great hitters with giant splits. So it was just a case of, as long as Lowe was going well, I was going to try and get him his length, knowing he's going to be down after that, and then try and if I could Hamilton to Holmes it, we're in a good spot.
The next day you bring out Gonzalez, or 2 days later Gonzalez first, and then Ferguson came afterwards. Was that Gonzalez lefty matchup? You like that, or is it just we're just finding things out as we go with them?
Yeah. I like, I'll probably line up Victor in left on left situations where I had them, whereas I kind of view, although I believe, he can get righties out too. He closed out the game last night having to get righties out. So that was really good. But feel like Ferguson's more of that neutral split. Like I'm going to run him through some righty lanes just as much as I'd run him through some lefty lanes. Yeah, that's kind of how I view them at this point, and that'll continue to evolve.
And we've seen a little bit of on the back end of the pen, a little bit of a revolving door. We saw Beeter get sent down after the 3-pitch inning, which, man, that's got to be. There's some parts of the job that I don't envy, man. That stinks, bro. Sorry. And now Jake Cousins comes in and Nick Ramirez, Tanner Tolle. I guess, and this is kind of roster stuff, but you're in that game as well. Like Peraza, I guess we were wondering there could have been a chance to 60-day IL him. So I don't know. I guess this is our beat reporter update. Like we heard Canely just got a minor little setback, and I don't know, is there a Peraza update coming?
Peraza starts throwing tomorrow, actually. So he should start to build pretty quick from there, and then Tommy's playing catch again, doing better here these last few days, so that's good. And then on the Beeter front, it was tough, and I really feel like Clayton's going to help us out a lot this year. I think he's going to play a role for us. So I just him being a starting pitcher and having things with his arm in the past, like. I just, even though it was still getting hot getting into a game, and it's like bringing a starting pitcher back after he's been hot and in the game the next day. And being that we were a little bit short that day, I just first of all, didn't want to put him in any kind of jeopardy and didn't want us to get caught short, if something were to happen. So it's an opportunity now for Clayton to go down, continue to stay stretched out with that length. He was up over 70 pitches when he left us. And you could see him back before long because I do really feel like he could impact our club this year in a lot of ways.
Jimbo.
Soto's defense is good, and everyone told us we should be worried about it. And so far it looks really good. Your thoughts?
I agree. He's been excellent. I think the cool thing has been, seeing, and I've talked about this too, but, seeing his work ethic and his kind of care factor in not just hitting, of course he's, one of the greatest hitters in the world and, pours a lot into that, but he takes a lot of pride in his defense. Like, he said, like, I want to win a gold glove, and he works like that. He works on getting jumps and getting reads, and he takes a lot of pride in it. And he takes a lot of pride in the base running and just all the little things that help you be a complete player. Like that's what we've kind of seen with Juan and witnessed with Juan and seen with his work ethic and focus. Like he loves the game and he wants to be great at all of it.
For 4-game sweep in Houston, that's pretty nice. It got all the Yankee fan juices are going, man. It's again awesome, and I'm just Yankee fanboying again. Flight from Houston to Arizona. It's the first full team flight of the year. The boys had a nice week because you had a crew coming from Mexico, you had a crew coming from Tampa. We've heard stories about Tommy Kahnle and what he can be like on the plane. Are there new personalities jumping out? Like if you cut to that plane ride, is there someone out? Like, I saw Stroman top step of the dugout when the Yankees scored a run yesterday. I love that. We've seen Soto's been freaking out for Volpe's hits. Like, I guess what new personalities are jumping out for you?
I don't know. It was nice it was our first flight together.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. Like, especially coming off the heels of a 4-game sweep, it's just a little nicer getting on the plane, a little nicer flight, right? And I usually always greet the guys as they're coming on the plane, and whether we've won or lost or whatever, and just kind of check in with them. So getting to see some of the unis, some of the costumes, some of the outfits. I tell them my dress code for the flights is dress like you're in the show. That can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. So I enjoyed some of the first outfits that I saw as a full group, but definitely a good plane ride to Houston. I did a little work on Arizona, and then threw my headphones on and not feeling the greatest. Watched a couple episodes of Suits and got myself into Phoenix.
Okay.
DJ's got to push the limit there on the dressing like he's in the show, right? I mean, he's got my style. It's just a hoodie and sweats.
It looks nice,
Yeah.
DJ looks nice.
I'm not saying he does.
He could throw the watch on. He would be in the watch pick.
Are you jealous you weren't in the watch pitch?
Yeah.
Pick? Sure. Did you see that?
No, yeah, fun to watch them. I like that. I like my watches. So
Okay.
What's Colbin doing? Is he driving everyone insane because he's got too much free time, or like what's the deal?
no, Garrett's he's been awesome, man. He's Garrett. He's as you'd imagine, like locked in on the games. Sharing his kind of comments and wisdom and thoughts with different guys throughout the game. It's kind of been the same when he's not starting. He's locked in on what we're doing and trying to be the best teammate he can be, getting to the yard early to make sure he's got all his rehab work done. And, I think getting close here to, playing catch soon.
Like that.
Do you think it's because you're 4-0 and you were winning, or because you've been under the weather? Well, at the time, 4-0 and winning the game, and the weather, under the weather, that you were a little softer on Vanover than last year, or are you really not going to get ejected as much this year?
I don't know. I got mad at Larry a couple times.
I know. I saw like the inklings of the beginning, and then it never got more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit late. I got pretty hot with one thing. But it's kind of a long ways, so it's hard to from the dugout here in Arizona. Some places are a little more conducive to getting yourself into trouble. Yankee Stadium can be that way because he's pretty much right there. He's going to hear me. He's going to hear my thoughts.
Okay.
Booney, my last thing. Let's see if Jimmy's got something in the chamber. I wanted to hit you with trivia. If the boys are winning, I'll give you all the trivia in the world. And I'm 5-0. I'm going to give you some tasty trivia. Because Aaron Boone, you're a good baseball player, man. 2001 to 2003, you're the cat's pajamas. Wow. You had 64 home runs and 61 stolen bases from 2001 to 2003, 3 seasons. There was only 6 other players in baseball during that time that had 60 homers or 60 steals. I'll let you approach this trivia how you want. If you want to get 4 out of 6, if you want to go till you got 3 strikes, I'll let you navigate the answer portion of it. But 60 plus homers, 60 plus stolen bases, 01 to 03.
All right, 01 to 03. Andrew Jones?
No Andrew Jones. First strike.
Wow. Uh-oh.
Man, I'm just, I don't know.
I can get you in the mindset. I've got a lot of outfielders here.
Sure.
One son plays on a division rival.
No, not Dante Bichette.
Close. Same infield.
Vlad Senior.
Vladdy Sr., 98 homers, 86 steals.
Okay.
And then, yeah, man, I've got one Yankee, and then I've got a group of like talented outfielders.
All right. So let's go. Jeter?
No Jeets. A friend of his.
Bernie?
No. Think big forearms, really quick, 40-40 club.
Canseco?
That's a good guess. Soriano.
Oh, sorry. Gosh, I'm failing at this so
It's all
bad.
right.
I'm embarrassed.
It's that sickness.
Give me
you
the
know?
list. Give me the list. Let's cut to the chase.
Tomorrow you'll go 4 for 4.
Vladdy Guerrero Sr., Soriano,
Yep.
Carlos
Uh-huh.
Beltran,
Uh-huh.
Raul Mondesi,
Uh-huh.
Bobby Abreu,
Uh-huh.
Mike Cameron, Aaron Boone.
It's a good list.
It's a pretty good list to
Good
be
list.
on.
You did it in the least amount of games and plate appearances too, so that's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, 2001, I was hurt a lot.
You're still balling out.
Yeah, you know.
All right. First time you guys are facing the lefty since opening day. Stanton, go back to the 4-hole in Rizzo 5, or are you gonna ride out the top 4 like you've had it, or top 5?
You mean on Kikuchi?
Huh? Oh,
Gallon tonight.
Gallon tonight. So Kikuchi next night. My thing's messed up. So it's same lineup then. We don't even need to guess it.
Yeah. Trevi will catch tonight.
All right. So that doesn't change anything else though, right? I mean, Trevi 8, Oswaldo 9.
Oswaldo 8, Trevi 9 tonight.
Okay. All right.
Signing up.
I like it.
Yep.
I had a question, but I'm gonna save it for later. It's a Verdugo one. We'll save it. It'll come up later on.
All right.
All right.
Keep in the hole.
Yep.
All right,
Cool.
boys. I'll see you guys out at the yard for opening day. What do you got?
We might be. Just go tell. Yeah, we might be. We're waiting to see if they allow us in or not.
You guys should have some kind of like booth and like, big to do outside the stadium, shouldn't you?
Wow, we're trying to get one inside the stadium.
Well, better. Even better.
Yeah, no, we're trying to be there. But we'll see.
Give Zillow a little bump for
Your
us.
John play for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
Yep.
Lock it
Hear
in.
that, Zill? All right, see you, Booney. All right, there you have it. Booney, thanks for joining us. As I said at the start of the show, we were just a little too gushy. I think I'll admit that myself.
Yeah.
So we got to fine-tune our questions a little more. We got really good at aiming the questions when things were going bad and trying to weave into conversations. I forgot that he wasn't going to be gushy, that he was going to be playing coy. Like when he opened up coy, I was like,
always
oh,
gonna
fuck.
be more neutral.
You know what,
than
though?
us.
I'm going to call challenge flag on ourselves because it's first series and, in late night Yankees West Coast Twitter, which was out last night, the vibes are so high now that, like, I was talking some of the stuff we've been talking about, like, Stanton hasn't been able to line up a fastball. Like, Verdugo's like a click off with his swing, and they talked about it on the broadcast. And there were some people that were like, how can you be talking about this? And it's like, well, it's part of the conversation, and that's what we're doing here. But I also do get that it's like 5-0. Like, maybe let's let one L get on the board, and then we can start really
flash
critiquing.
flood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with this team?
Yeah. And what's up with all the mayo?
What's his deal?
Yeah, what's the deal with all this mayo?
And if you're questioning things like that, you're probably a business person. And that's where you should check out Alex Rodriguez, Yankee Legends, new podcast, The Deal. Every week, A-Rod and Bloomberg reporter Jason Kelly speak with big-time athletes and entertainers, including Maria Sharapova, Michael Strahan, Derek Jeter, number 2. The Deal takes you behind the scenes into the world of sports, media, and entertainment. Hell yeah. And dives into wins, losses, and the lessons learned along the way. You listen to us, that means you probably listen to podcasts. So go check out A-Rod's The Deal from Bloomberg Podcast and Bloomberg Originals. You can listen to The Deal on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the description. Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out. Check it out. Check it out now. So I have something for you that I'm gonna save to ask Boone about when the stats get a little bit more established. Because you know the bullpen usage that I always didn't like.
Oh, it's the bullpen budget.
But I can't really, knock it because the Yankees always have a good bullpen. But in my theory, I thought it led to kind of like just injuries and getting tired more.
Sure.
The way that they would always last 2 years, up downs. Bring a guy in, he gets one out, and then he goes sits on the bench, and he comes back out to get like one or two more outs, and not just have his inning. Right. And last year, the stats on that are like apparent. Like it's not just something I'm seeing. And I asked him about it at the beginning of the year, and he kind of denied it. But they had the Yankees games entered with the bases empty. The Yankees were third last in all of baseball last year. Games entered with runners on, the Yankees were fifth most. This is what they did. They would until the guy got a runner on, then you'd come in, you'd inherit that, you'd get out. Games the pitcher completed more than 3 out, or games the pitcher completed less than 3 outs, they're all there. This year, Jake, in game 1, as I asked him about, Nestor completes the 5th, Loaizaga gets the full 6th, Loaizaga gets the full 7th, Hamilton gets the full 8th, Clay gets the full 9th. They all got their own innings start to finish. The next game, Rodon goes into the 5th. Berti comes and
He came out for a lefty, too.
Starter to reliever, I don't care.
Okay.
It's reliever to the reliever. Give the relievers their lane. Luke Weaver comes in, and this is the one game where they did do it because Gonzo didn't look good. And they did like 3 pitchers that inning. But the rest of the games, they've gotten like their own lane. Stroman completed the 6th. Hamilton comes out for the 7th. Hamilton gets the 8th. Then Clay. Like they're not doing as much mixing and matching on the leaderboard right now. They're flipped. They have the most came in with empty and least with runners on and stuff. And they've been playing well.
Right.
But I need it to go further because I think it's changed, and we'll get more data points. And then we'll just force him. Admit you've changed for the better.
It's where I'm currently happy for you, and I hope it holds up because this has been one of your bigger asks, and you have to ask to receive. I will say everyone has been pitching good. Like the one example you used, like Gonzo was a little wild and had a tough inning.
Yeah.
So
but the bullpen was good last year, and it was just their strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. In last night's game, I thought they would go to Berti before Luke Weaver on Lourdes Gurriel when he lines out to left field after the batter before that lined out to right field. I thought they were going to Berti, but they didn't, so maybe it is philosophical.
Berti got the 8th. Gonzalez got the 9th. They didn't really have that last year. So I'm excited about that, but other things have changed. I knew he wouldn't admit them. They have. You have a guy in Soto who's going to play every day. He's not going to want to come out, and he's a leader of the team. It's literally what Jeter was, and when they had Matsui and Cano, they all fed off each other of, I'm not coming out, and it was like a big deal. If you tried to sit them, they'd be like, hey, whoa, no, what the fuck? They haven't had that.
That's where Girardi, his finding his broadcasting feet with the Yankees fans a little bit. But that was one of the best lines he dropped that I know it's been a thing for a while, but hearing Girardi said it, he's like, I never understood why the Yankee fans got on Cano for like the hustle and stuff because he played every day. Like, why do you care? And it's funny because, Joe Girardi also has like the tough guy archetype that you'd think he'd almost be against that. But it's, if you're out there playing, that's what we want.
Yeah. I haven't listened to Girardi because the first one was opening day and we weren't really like listening. And then game 4, I was at Easter. So like the volume wasn't on. So I haven't really tuned in. How's he been?
Okay. I mean, he's looking.
They were dogging him last night.
He's getting his legs. Yeah, they're dogging him a lot.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to get him going. I think they're trying to like get the good stuff out.
Poke him a little bit.
He's been a little.
They said that
first series felt like his first series back with Yes, but he has a fairly extensive broadcasting career.
Right. That's where I'm not knocking
we'll
that
get
at all.
there.
But
They said
get
Kay said, he did the off day laying in the hotel bed with pizza on his chest. And then they were like, what do you think Paul O'Neill was doing? And they're like, what do you think Girardi was doing? And he was
Taking
like,
notes.
Taking notes.
Good.
What did I text you guys that Kay just turned and asked them? That was so weird.
Oh,
I don't know if it was to set up the
You ever
Susan
touch a
story.
cactus?
He just came back from commercial. Goes, "You ever touch a
Got
cactus?"
me good too.
Got me pretty good. I was like, "What?"
It was perfect timing. Like the game had kind of mentally turned off for 7 innings.
West Coast.
But it was a close
West
game. But
Coast.
everyone knew these Yankees.
Yeah, I do. If that Lourdes Gurriel line drive isn't right at Doogie, I think some of the conversations change a little bit.
But it was always going to
but
be
it's
there.
this season.
It was always going to
The
be
line
there.
drive was always going to Doogie.
The Rizzo era stunk.
Yeah, but older, not fleet of foot against one of the quicker runners in the game.
Yeah,
And
and there's a
runner.
little bit of a tough scoop, but
Yeah.
Okay. See you guys. Goodbye.
Let's go Yanks.
Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.